Xenosystems Fragments. Dark Techno-Commercialism. Nickland. Narrated by Skeptical Waves. Each of the three main strands of neo-reaction, insofar as they are remotely serious, attaches itself to something that no politics could absorb. The reality of a religious commitment cannot be resolved into its political implications. If it is wrong, it is not because of anything that politics can do to it or make of it. Providence either envelops history and ideology, subtly making puppets of both, or it is nothing. However bad things get, it offers a reason not to be afraid, at least of that, and one that degeneration has no way to touch, let alone control. Similarly, the Darwinian truths underpinning rational ethno-nationalist convictions are invulnerable to ideological reversal. A trend to racial entropy and idiocracy, however culturally hegemonic and unquestionable, does not cease to be what it is, simply because criticism has been criminalized and suppressed. Scientific objections have significance, if they are indeed scientific, and not rather the corruption of science, but politically enforced denial is a tawdry comedy, outflanked fundamentally by reality itself, and diverting events into perverse outcomes that subvert delusion from without. What Darwinism is about cannot be banned. The techno-commercial thing, catallaxy, is comparably invulnerable. There is no chance that anyone, ever, will successfully prohibit the market, or the associated dynamics of competitive technical advantage, which together compose real capitalism. As with religion and genetic selection, the techno-commercial complex can be driven into darkness, socially occulted, and stigmatized as a public enemy. It cannot, however, be derealized by political fiat. It is important, therefore, to understand where neo-reactionary dark thoughts lead. Their horizon of despair is strictly limited to the political, or public sphere. When taken to the edge, they converge with the intuition that no neo-reactionary politics can be pursued to a successful conclusion. In other words, at their darkest, they predict that the stubborn delusion of the political dooms humanity's public exoteric aspirations to catastrophe. At this point, neo-reaction bifurcates. However, it is principally comprehended, through the trichotomy, a relatively light branch holds on to the prospect of public political insideness, of a world politically restructured in relative consonance with neo-reactionary ideas, such that social order might be resumed, on a realistic basis. Alternatively, and no less trichotomously, a dark branch points outside, through collapse, into tracks of religious, biological, and/or catalectic inevitability, whose dynamics cast human delusion into terminal ruin. If man never, again, reverts to sanity, reality will not stop. Outside in is darker than it is trichotomously partisan. Neither real providence, nor Darwinian reality, are attachments that trigger the slightest aversion in these parts. The idea that the neo-reaction will ever do politics, or achieve insider status, on the other hand, except as a rhetorical tactic of cognitive independence, separation, is a possibility we struggle to envisage. That leaves much to argue over, on other occasions. Dark techno-commercialism, provisionally summarized, is the suspicion that the right singularity is destined to occur in surreptitious and antagonistic relation to finalistic political institutions, that the cathedral culminates in the human security system, outmatched and defeated from the outside, and that all hopes that these ultimate historical potentialities will be harnessed for politically intelligible ends are vain. It is, therefore, the comprehension of capitalism in itself as an outsider that will never know, or need, political representation. Instead, as the ultimate enemy, it will envelop the entirety of political philosophy, including anything neo-reaction can contribute to the genre, as the futile strategic initiatives, or death spasms, of its prey. We, humans, are radically stubborn in our stupidity. That has consequences. Perhaps they will not always be uninteresting ones.